At first, it go automatically in every list, article list, department list, category list, automatically go request from use effect. And that request is fetch article, fetch category, fetch department. And in that request, it is only get request. And get request, here it is for imagination that there is no a lot of data. It is only request, get request. Give me all category. Give me all departments. Give me all article. Request. And there is no payload in request. There is no payload. And there is no in this direction. But there is a big payload in response. In response coming all articles, list of articles, complete array articles or category or department. Look at for delete, request, thin request. But response is more thin. In request for delete, front end send backend ID. Delete ID, that ID. But for delete, back to front end, to tank, from backend to front end, coming response, okay. Okay, nothing in payload. Okay, the end of story. It is for delete. This diagram is for post, request post, and request put. Request post is a big payload, big request payload, because we send all from the form what we create new article, new department, new category, and all that must go to backend. Post example. But for both of them, response, also for update, we must also send, like for post, we must send complete form, data from form to send to backend. But for both, in response, for post, response is only ID, because it is something what front end don't know. ID of new post, of new article, new category, new department, created in database, and the database send it back ID. All other exist in the front end, but ID not, and ID go in response. And put, update is same thing. In update, we respond okay, like in delete, because we have all in front end, and that front end is that big payload. Go to backend, go to database, execute SQL query, update it, and send back all is okay. And that go in response, okay. And front end have updated data, and there is ID on only waiting for okay or not okay. Okay, it responds very think. Okay, it is for imagination about that process. Here is a code example in our Express, in our backend. Application get, here is departments, for example. We have not, in request, there is no payloads. Because of that, it is dim. Nothing in request. And response, very lighting. It would be all array of departments. And here it is in results, all that array go back in JSON format, if all is okay. And it is a get. It means think, request, big, fat response. Down, post. There is a request and response. A request is, here it is. Request is name and description. And it is request body. It is post. But in response, look at response status, all is okay. In response, we need only department ID, and it is results inserted ID. It gives us all what is in results. It is object what give database. Results inserted ID. But what is name and description here? It is coded AI, and I ask AI, I said AI, we don't need it. We don't need it because we need only ID, because name and description we have in request. Look at here, name and description. We have in request body, and we don't need it response in request here, in request body, but we have it coming from it coming from front end. We have that in front end. We send it name and description from front end, and we don't need this backend. Backend don't need response again, name and description. Applications artificial responded, okay, it is for clarification, and no, we don't need it. And I said, for what clarification? It is a clarification for developers. But it is, we don't need it. You see how ChatGPT something coded wrong. It is, we don't need it. We need only ID. It is news, and that ID go to front end. But in front end, we have name, and it was add department form, and in that add department form exists that object of data, name and description. And okay, it is a post. Post is a big request, a thin response. It post. Okay, let's see put. Put, we received something in address request, and it is request params. From front end to back end, something go in address, web address, and it is ID, and something go to like a name and description coming here like object would be, we declare object, and it is request body. It means that request, there is a parameter, params, request, object request. It is not parameters, it is properties. Object request, there is a properties, params, that properties take ID from parameter from address, and this is parameter from address. And from address, because of that ID coming with address, it is parameter in address, and we take it request parents. And name and description, we take request, there is a properties body, and we take that with the request body. And input, that request body is big, but response will be thin. Body, request body is all data like in post. But here it is ID also, we know which ID, complete department with ID, go name and description, go to here to backend in request body and go to database. From database, coming back, okay or not okay. If okay, here is update query, send update, and if wrong, something wrong, we send response, object response, there is a properties status, return 500 if error, if happened some error. And .json always is here, it is also it is response is object, status is object, and the JSON is of error is object, and in JSON format, and this error would be formatted in JSON. We always, if there is something like message, like error, or like data, it go to JSON. If there is something from the database, it go to JSON, it attach to response. This is response. In this response would be status 500 and error, message of error in JSON format coming to front end. But if all is okay, we send back ID, name, description, and it is wrong. It is wrong because we don't need in response ID and name and description, because that exists. It is update. What we need, look at in delete. Delete also, like update, look at put department's ID, delete also. Delete, request delete, department ID also. And how finished? Look at end. End. And 204. 204 means no content. There is no JSON. We don't need JSON. It is only end. End of story. All is okay. 204, all is okay, but there is no JSON payload. Okay, and this is absolutely programming ChatGPT. It is okay for put here. It is same here. And I don't need console log. It was in beginning for control. Okay, it is update. It is update of departments. And it is same for all other, for article and for a category. I correct it. And look at what go back end, like for delete. It is very thin response, but very, very fat request. Okay, let's get see if does I am right. Departments. What was updates departments? Updates departments. Update. Edit departments, clothing and apparel, only one something a and update. Okay, update. Clothing. Here it is one. Here it is AA. All is here. Update, delete, add category. And okay, it is function new apartment, add department, dep1, save department, cancel, down, it is down, okay, dep department, and here it is. What I change here in post departments, new departments, I deleted name and description here, and respond only, it is in backend, respond only department ID. Here it is, department ID, because I think that front end have name and description. And I try create a new department. I try. It is all function okay. And I go to see slice. Here is add new department slice. I look at here. It is coming from form update, add a new article form. It is arrow with parameter new department, and through parameter go to here new department object, and it go to backend. From here it is a request post. But response data here, when I look at in log, response data is complete ID, name, description. And here is complete response data, ID, name, description of new department. And when we look add case down, add new departments, look at if fulfilled, state departments push action payload. It means here in action payload, we can control is all ID, name, description. And by thinking how it is possible, because don't come in here, I didn't from backend, we didn't send it. We send only ID from backend, and here must be only ID, and down in fulfilled push only ID. But I have complete name and data. Here it is not added. I asked ChatGPT. ChatGPT said, if you send from backend ID, you have ID. You have only ID. If you not manual coded here, complete, construct, aggregate to get the ID, name, and the description. Without it, you have only ID. And look at what is error. Error is that I must, after every changes here, I must reset. Control C, reset, and now again node server, JS, and now I try to, I must reset server, and now I will create, I'm going to create a new department, cancel and add a department. Dep3, description, save department, would be only ID. Down, look at down, look at, there is only ID, we don't see name and description. And I like the idea, what give me, it means that I must have name and description in backend and send it back to front end. But if consistent, if I want to be consistent in programming, that front end, what is on the front end, we don't need send from the back end again. And now I can copy this. Copy this in front end. Here it is return. Okay, that you can see together and that you can compare. Return department ID, response data. Response data, I don't need now department ID. It is, of course, enough for this, because in data is only ID and not status. Status is in response, but status is a separate properties of response. And data is only for ID in this situation. And I can delete this. And this is operator for copy new department. Copy new department. Here it is in the front end side. We have new department. It's coming from add new department. And now I can, for that you compare it always, I can create it here. That we have a history of this story. And okay, let's see. Now it is changes is in front end, and I don't know, I don't need reset server. Let's get to see now. Let's get to see now. Add department. Dep4 description, save department. Look at Dep4 description, all is okay. Excellent. I can control others for articles and the category, and correct and be consistent that we don't need response field in object response if it exists on the front end. On the front end. For other is okay. Update, I change this update. Now I can update this because I forget does I reset backend, edit department, for example, 5. A update. Look at department 4, nothing happened. I didn't update it. Okay, I must look at why not. Update is not execute, is not success, and here is, but it is not is not is didn't change. Let's get it. See update, department update. Departments update, post put, here it is. Okay, I think that I don't need send back nothing. And now, when I reset, after I reset, updates don't work. But before I didn't reset, and I think that update work okay. Reset, I didn't reset backend. And now, let's get see what we have in slice department slice. Here it is. Department slice, here it is, handle delete and update. Okay. We send ID name description. It is front end, and it's okay. And here is a construction of our API, put endpoint address, department's ID. ID is here, and the name description is here. And what we received back return is ID name description, but we have complete here. We have return ID name description, and all that together. There is nothing about response, but directly, if all is okay, we will return, because if something wrong, would we stop here? It is await. But if all is okay, programs go down to return ID name description. ID name description. All that exists here in here is ID, and here is a name description. Down, update department, we can go down, update department, fulfill, succeed, ID name description, action payload. Action payload, it is the structured assignment. Console log ID, I control it is console log ID name description, console log action payload. It is 63, 64. 63, 64. 63, 64. It is here. Look at it is complete department 14. But there is no department ID, there is no name and description. Here it is, there is ID, name, but there is no department ID, there is no description. It means 60 department slice 63 department 1. Here it is department A, department 5, department ID 14. But this department 5 must be like this name. There is no name. And here it is also, there is no name. Okay, I must little study it and get back here to explain what happened. It is something about object and array. Here is ID object, and the name is the 5 is outside of that. It means ID go, but name, department ID name. Here is okay. It's not something slice 17 department ID. It is something wrong. Here is in curly brackets. This is outside of, and there is a name, and here it is. What is it? Also same. It is something wrong. And I little study, and if I need, consult with ChatGPT and get back. Okay, here I explain ChatGPT what I do, and ChatGPT respond improvements to align with best practice. Option 1. Let the backend return the updated department. Modify the backend to send the updated department back in the response after the update query. And here it is code for updated, you see. Updated, and here it is. Updated, complete ID, name, description. And option 2, keep the current approach, ensuring the tank uses the original name and description. If you prefer to avoid backend changes, rely on the data passed to the tank in the department call. Here it is, this is totally saying what I have, nothing wrong. And I reset again, even though this is in even though this is in front end, not in back end. I reset back end, maybe something touch, and I go try again, and again work okay, and it work okay with this code what I have, and after that I write. Here is a ChatGPT. Either options ensures consistency between the backend and frontend, but option one is more robust since it ensures the state matches the database. It is something what don't give me fundament because I think my idea is better. And what I respond, I use by option two, and all is okay because I want to be consistent, not response what exists in front end. So save planet, don't produce more CO2 than I need. Agree or not agree? I ask, it is for short, agree or not agree. Don't spoke a lot of about if don't need. And interesting, we have that situation very, very often, always, that my opinion win. ChatGPT said, agree by reusing existing data from the front end and avoiding an unnecessary backend response. You're minimizing resource usage and contributing to efficiency. It is a thoughtful approach, less computation, less data transfer, and ultimately less energy consumption. This small optimization aligns with the principle of sustainable software development. You look at ChatGPT said before, before either options ensures consistency, not because on didn't see from our previous talking, there is a no consistency here for me is about ecology that I use data from front end. Okay, but ensure consistency between back end and front end, but option one is more robust. It is not true. Since it ensures the state machines matches the database. It is nonsense. It is nonsense, and my solution is better because if I for put, if I change my rules about ecology and about front data instead of backend, I must changes in all other cases, and because if if more robust and if better solution take data from backend, it is it is the same for all for get method, the delete method, put, update, and read. It is for and delete, update, post, add new, and it is crude. Create, read, update, delete. It is if I need robust, by Quote connection between database, I must take it principles. But I like this front end. And it is interesting that this coding is ChatGPT coded all this. And now that ChatGPT coded in update that combination use backend send data, but in other cases use front-end data. It is don't consistency, and altogether you can see that you must know because ChatGPT go contradictory itself, and that contradictory, if we didn't control and if we didn't include and have our principle, that contradictory go in very, very bad software, mix spaghetti software, spaghetti coding, and after some time we would need delete complete code what created artificial, because it is simplest than find contradictory, find error, etc. Okay, again, one times look at update now, DeepSeek update 7 A update, and look at 7A. Okay, it working. We can let's see again here this CRUD for it means get, request is think, response is and here is a response result. It is all array. It is complete entire departments. Here it is in results. But request is only get me all departments. Request get, but there is no request body. There is not, don't exist, and request object don't exist. But response object exists. Always response exists, but now there is a JSON here, complete array from database. This result coming from database to backend, from backend to front end. Post. We must in JSON put results. In results is inserted ID, and it is our department ID, because name and description, we send name and description, post to database, it go to database, this SQL query, and every insert, new department, database created ID, and it is new, only database created ID, and that ID must send back to front end. Okay, and that ID coming in front end, and in front end uses a name and description from front end. Now get departments. Okay, it is a post, put we spoke about put. Here it is, put, and delete also nothing, there is no result. But I have a thinking about update we just resolve, but I remember about department post. Here it is, department post. Send back only ID. Send back only ID and to front end. And let's see to front end again. Front end post, add new department. Front end, return department ID, response, return department ID column response data. It is coming from backend. And this operator 3 dot, new department, copy all this data. And this is name and description on front end side. We are on the front end side in slice, department slice. And it is consistency. It is consistency that we don't send data from backend if we don't need, if we have that on the front end. And repeat for handle delete, we send ID and delete it and send back okay, end of story. There is no JSON, nothing in result. And here we use ID in delete, we use ID from front end. Here it is. And it is delete and update department. We see that we use here, it is return object. We return object, ID, name, description. We take it from here. ID, name, description. It's coming from form add department form. And we take it from this argument, and here it is, and all work excellent. All work excellent. We take it, we have no, here we don't have response data. Here, there is no response data. Also, in delete, there is no response data, nothing coming, but we have response status coming, but response data don't coming also, but empty. Response with all properties, status and data coming back, but data is empty, status is 200, 204, depend. Okay, it's very, very interesting if we're thinking about. Okay, thank you for watching this video.